right, so if you're here, you're looking to start using Fusion 360. I have not used Fusion 360 very much. I've done a little bit of tutorial stuff on YouTube. I'll put some links to the guys' videos in the description because they've been super helpful. A little bit of background about me is I am an electrician, but I do a lot of two-dimensional CAD work for electrical drawings and slab drawings for pulling conduit in concrete slabs. I've been off work for a bit, so I've been trying to find stuff to do, and I got a 3D printer and I've been starting to design stuff. I actually started out with an application called Shaper 3D on my iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, but I just recently built a computer, and Fusion 360 is free for personal use, so it seems like it's a more long-term and more broadly useful skill to know Fusion 360 over an Apple app. So from what I've learned, I'm gonna, you can follow along with me. If you want to go download Fusion 360, you don't need to pay for it as long as you're not using it for commercial purposes. And you can make some stuff for your home. If you don't have a 3D printer, you can send them out to a 3D printing service and they can send it to you. But honestly, I mean, obviously everybody's financial situation is different, but the Bamboo and the Creality printers are really pretty inexpensive, considering you can make pretty much anything your heart desires. So first thing we're gonna do is I've already created a file called Dad's Shower Hook. He sent me some dimensions to make a towel hook for his glass shower. So we'll be making that. We want to select our folder, title it. So you can see it's got a check mark there. It appeared in the folder. So the first thing we're going to want to do in this situation, we want to draw it looking, bird's eye view face down from the top view, because I want to draw the side profile of the hook, and then we'll end up extruding it out towards the face and putting some fillets on it. So we're going to want to click on Origins, click there, right click, create sketch, and that'll put us into the top view, as you can see up here. So he actually only gave me one dimension, which was that the glass is 8 millimeters. So we're gonna kind of make a U-shaped hook that will form to that, so you can hook it on the top of it and hang its towels up. Obviously, I'm not very good at using Fusion 360, so maybe we'll go for the line command, and we'll start from the crosshair, the planar crosshair here, and you'll notice here I have snaps on, so you'll see it snapping to grids and center points as we go forward. So just hover your mouse on the plane you want to, the direction you want to draw, and the piece of glass is 8 millimeters thick, so I don't think the hook needs to be more than, let's call it 32 millimeters. So you just hit that. You can hit tab if you want, and that'll lock the length, and then you can pick the angle you want. I think we want ours to be straight, so we'll just click there. And then so now we need to pick a thickness, let's call it 4 millimeters thick. So because it's 8 millimeters of glass plus the two 4 millimeters, so we're gonna go 16, we'll call it 16 millimeters. So we'll put 16 there, enter. You don't have to put enter because you can continuously draw. And then we want it to come down maybe twice as long. So we'll call it 64. And so this is going to be the outside shape of it. So we're going to have a hook come off here, and then we'll trace the inside of it. So this is where that tab, once we pick the length of the hook we want, and you know, let's say at an angle, we want it to come up to halfway. So, you know, approximately, and I mean, that looks like a decent angle for that. So we'll just go ahead and click that. And since we said we wanted it to be 4 millimeters thick, we'll hit 4. Look at that. And then again, now we'll come down and we'll be perpendicular to that. And this is where a little bit of math and thought can go a long way. So we'll just draw a line down here, and then we'll come off of this point, and we'll go 4 again. And then we'll pull a line off of that's perpendicular, and we'll drag that line out till it's just drop it there. Pull a line from there and snap it into okay, so we've maintained the 4 millimeter thickness here. From the tightest point will be 4. Now we can draw a line and come back up. And since we went 64 up and we're trying to put a 4 millimeter thickness in, we'll go up 64. It still says 64. Okay, bad at math, go team. So the top is 16. We want to take 4 and 4 out of that for this and this to get our horizontal line here. So we know the inside is meant to be 8. Now we can pull the line down, and that's now going to be 28. And now you can see as soon as we snap that in there, we've got an inside. So the issue is this line, delete that, and now we've got one solid piece. So now we want to extrude it, and for that we can just hit E, and we can pull it out. You can sort of get a vibe for how thick you want it. I think 24 millimeters is probably good. Settings look all right. Okay. Now we're gonna want to put some fillets on this, but I don't really want to fillet this inside, either of these inside corners, because I want it to fit fairly tightly to the glass, and the glass is pretty solidly cut, so I think it would be fine to leave that in there as unfilleted. So we're gonna have to go through and hold shift and click on all of our faces that we do want to fillet. You know, I don't even want to fillet this whole inside because it's going to be touching the glass. So let's pretty much fillet everything that's not touching. It looks like we've got all the faces we want to fillet. Nice, so now we'll hit F. Excellent. And we'll throw we'll throw some numbers in and see what kind of fillet we get. You want to, one thing I learned early on when I was using Shaper 3D, not that it was application specific, but the printer only has so much definition on fillets. So if you do a 1 millimeter fillet, it's not going to probably end up looking the way you want it. So let's try a 5 millimeter fillet. File chamfer cannot be created where edges meet at a corner. So it won't even let me do it. Perfect. Okay, so let me do a 1. Let's go for a 2. Yeah. Yeah. I get with that. See, it stayed flat where it grabs the glass. yeah, I like it. So now, if you want to, well, first of all, we'll click OK. And we can turn the origin plane off. We want the body on. We can turn sketches on and off. And now if you want to see it rendered, stainless steel. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Now I can put this into my slicing software, and this is probably the best orientation to print it at because your layer lines are going to cut through this way. So when your towel's on the hook, it's going to be forcing, it's going to try to open this up. Whereas if, like, let's say you printed it at this orientation where the lines cut through, you'd see right here is going to be a really weak point, especially when, you know, you figure someone's going to pull on a towel here and it's going to try to split the layers right there. Might not be a problem if you have really strong layer adhesion, but in my limited experience, I find print orientation is really important, and often you end up having to design around the orientation if you don't want to split your parts in half. Like, for example, if this was unprintable without crazy overhangs and you needed a nice finish everywhere, then, you know, you might cut this here and print this on its back with this face touching the print bed and have it segmented through here, and then you print this on its back so that you had no support, because if you printed this in any other orientation but on its side, you're going to need some kind of support and you're going to compromise on layer integrity. So just a thought for slicing. So when we're done, don't forget to save. We'll call it complete V1, because who knows, we might do some changes to this based on how it prints and what my dad thinks. Thanks for watching. The next part of this will be slicing it and a time lapse and follow up on how the print went. So thanks for watching. I'm just starting out making YouTube stuff. Let me know what you think. Obviously, this is not a Fusion 360 tutorial because it would pretty much be the blind leading the blind. But if you're just starting out and it intimidates you, then just know that I have very limited experience using Fusion 360 specifically. So it's not that bad. There's obviously, you know, the workflow of it is different to two-dimensional AutoCAD and even Shaper 3D in regards to your history. For example, is a big one where, you know, we started with the sketch, then we made the body, then we did the fillet command, and that's one of the most impressive parts of using Fusion 360 to me, is that you can right click on this and edit feature, and you can go back and you can change the fillet. So it's really not hard to change stuff. Obviously there's a limit to that. If you start changing drawings, then some of the later steps you took, you know, as your project gets more complicated, you're going to start breaking stuff. But at least Fusion 360 will give you a little pop-up, and your timeline item that has a problem will shade itself yellow, telling you you need to fix it. And that could, you know, it could be as simple as undoing the command you did and then reapplying it to fix it. So thanks for watching. I know this video sucks. This is literally the first time I'm using OBS to record this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I do have a lav mic at least. I think probably next time I won't put the music in with the mic audio, because you know, if I mess something up and when I edit this I'm going to trim something out, then the music is going to skip. Whereas if I laid the music in after I did all the trimming, then it would be a continuous song playing and you wouldn't notice so much that, especially because you're streaming a computer, the only thing you're going to see is my mouse jump if I end up cutting something out. So I have my own criticisms for myself, but I'm totally open to your guys' criticisms. Thanks for watching. Totally open to the criticism, guys. Go team. Thanks for watching.